to get on. Like, StreamYard kept on kicking me out. What is going on? Please give me a thumbs up if you can see and hear me, because I have been fighting to get on this live. Oh, Lord, thank you all for being here. And thank you for your patience while I fight with StreamYard. I'm telling you, maybe when I get to 1 million, I'm gonna try to do my own stream without a third party, because the frustration is eating me up. Let me see if you guys, before I start, let me see if you, okay, great. You guys can see and hear me. Awesome. Okay. So I just want to say, now we got a show. Huh? Say what you want about Nicola and Isaiah, but they just set the tone of this game, and they let everybody know, finally, that this is not Friendship Island. OMG. Who knew that it was going to be Nicola and Isaiah that were going to be the ones to wake everybody up? I for sure thought that it was going to be Johnny. I thought that Johnny, like, if he ever got power couple, would do a move like that to let everybody know that it's a game. Who would have thought it was going to be Nicola and Isaiah? Child, let's get into it. Let's get into it. Oh, come on in the room. Whoa, come on in the room. Yeah, we don't have TIK.Star here messing up the claps. We got so much to talk about, so won't you come on in the room? Now you sing, come on in the room. Whoa, come on in the room. Yeah, we got so much to talk about. I said we got so much to talk about. I said we got so much to talk about. So won't you come on in the, come on in the room, please. And when you come on in the room, please come in with your likes. This is a Black-owned business, and it can only grow with your support. Black-owned and woman-owned. Listen, I'm going to use whatever I got to get what I want. Please help your girl grow, because the way this industry is going, I might have to be a full-time YouTuber. My God, today, but God is good. We're still getting work. Thank you, Jesus. So anyway, we start off with Isaiah being hella uncomfortable that Sydney is back in, that Sydney is on the show now. And I'm just like, for you to be moving like that, you have had to put that girl through hell. I will say this. Where is she at? Sydney, Mama, I've only met you for a few minutes and you're giving me bird. You're giving me bird. First of all, the voice. White woman, let's stop this. Let's stop it. The men are in formation against all women. Not the good. There's good guys. I know, guys. Some of you are married in relationships with good guys, but y'all know what I'm talking about. The ones that are voting to get away our rights. They're in formation. Women got to get in formation. And this dumb blonde baby voice. Oh, God. I know. That, honey, y'all got to kick in the gear. We are not in a place anymore where this personality is going to save you. Okay? Everybody's on the chopping block. So let's wake up, sisters, and let's stop this act. Because Sydney, I couldn't. I don't know. Something. Girl, you don't talk like that. You don't stop it. Stop it. It's time. Let's wake it up. Let's wake it up. Let's speak in your full voice with some power. Because we know when you do this little baby thing, it's to make men feel that you're not intimidating and that you would look a baby. It's weird. Why you want your man to think that you're a toddler? Hello? Hello? If he's attracted to you because of that, check his computer. Anyway, so she's starting to give me bird because she sits down with the girls and they're like, so I will say this. Isaiah, and we talked about this in the last live. Isaiah was moving scared because he knew that she was going to clock his tea. She knew that she was going to tell all his business because as soon as she sat down with the girls, she was just like, yeah, he cheated on me. Yeah, it got really, really messy. It was really, really bad. And the girls were like, Isaiah? And I'm like, oh, we would have never thought that he would do anything like that. Isaiah, we never thought that he was that kind of guy. So that is why Isaiah was nervous, because he was able to present a different person than Sydney experienced. And he knew with Sydney being here, she probably got the worst of him. And that version is all that she knows. So she was going to tell the girls that. And unfortunately, Isaiah, she told the girls what it was. And I think you've lost the female vote. I think you've lost the woman vote, because they were like, not Zay. Baby, yes, Zay. Baby, yes, Zay was a monster to her. But the reason why I feel like she's giving me bird, not just because of the voice, but because when they asked her if she thought that they were going to get together, or if she thought that, those two were ever going to find their way to each other during this game, she was just like, yeah, I don't know. What the hell you mean you don't know? That man put you through hell. What the hell? He cheated on me and everything, but he's a good guy. No, he's not. Y'all have to stop doing that. Y'all have to stop thinking, because when you do that and you say, oh, he did this horrible thing to me, but he's really a good guy, you are blaming yourself for that version of him that was in a relationship with you. You are saying that he's a good guy to everybody else, but he's terrible to me, so it's okay. It's not okay. If he was horrible to you, that's the only impression you have of him. So if anybody asks you about him, he's a terrible person. He's a terrible person. Stop protecting men that hurt you. Stop protecting people that have harmed you. Stop taking the high road when it comes to your mental, when it comes to your health, when it comes to your spirit, because that boy, his dingaling was a weapon of mass destruction. If he's cheating on you with every and anybody, and don't get me wrong, sis, I don't know you, but the way you're acting on here, you're not a condom warrior. You're a raw dogger. You're a raw dogger. So if he's raw dogging you, he's raw dogging everybody. And if he's cheating on you, then he's putting your life at risk. He's a terrible person, and you can say that. So that's why I feel like she's giving me bird, because she's just like, oh, I don't know. I don't know, that chapter may be closed. May, and you don't know. You absolutely know. He harmed you. The door is closed. Wake up, Sydney. Anyway, but I think that he had every right to be nervous, because he knew. Isaiah absolutely knew what Sydney knew, and he was afraid that will affect his image in the game. And baby, it already has, because you lost the women with that one. You lost the girls with that one. Where's my sis at? Thickums. Adriana, I hopefully she goes home soon. No shade. One, I don't think she needs the money, because she's here for love. Like, if you're playing, I'm sorry, if you're on Love Island Games and you're playing for love, then I'm not going to be rooting for you, because I want you to win the money. And the people who are winning the money are serious about this game. She is here for love. So she has been crying the entire episode. We open up with her just crying and upset. Johnny's trying to encourage her, and she's just like, I can't get a break. Her and Andrea crying about the same thing. I can't get a break. I keep on going through the same thing. And Johnny is consoling her. He's like, no, it's okay. Just get your head back in the game. It's all right. It's a game. But Johnny has to realize she's here for love. She is not here for the game at all. Our girl is a lover girl. She's not an Olympian. She's not a warrior. She can take on haters because she knows she's that girl. But the physical stuff and the mind games, that is not for her. So this is my girl. I love that she is back on my TV screen. She needs to go, because I'm not going to watch her cry every episode and lose every challenge, because her heart isn't in it. I thought that she was just not physically fit, but I also realized that her heart is not in it. She don't want to be here for the games. She wants to be here for the love. She wants to, show off the body. She's not here for all of that other stuff. That's what this show calls for. She's not here for that. And no shade, I want to see women who are here for that. Still my girl. She's still going to eat. She's still going to marry a wealthy baller. Go fine. That's the thing. You can get somebody fine. Go fine. I don't care how much money you got. Go fine. Okay. Her life is good. Her life is good, but she's not here for the money. And I want sisters that are here for the money. Point blank. Period. Chris, this entire episode, the entire time that he has been on the show, where is Big and Tall? He has been breadcrumbing KK. KK's trying to talk to him about game, about strategy, and he's just like, oh, you look so good, boy. That's your problem. You spent so much time being a damn lover boy, or trying to be the man. You should have been loving up on your partner. Now you can love up on her at the airport. But we know that's not happening. We know that's not happening. But I will say this. He realized that he was going to have to clock into something. He realized that he was going to have to step his game up. And if he lasted another episode, I think he would have stepped his game up, because Marvin was circling KK. Because while Chris and KK is talking and Chris is breadcrumbing KK, Marvin walks over. He's just like, KK, can I pull you for a chat? And she's like, okay. She gets up and she goes talk to Marvin. And Chris is like, am I tripping? Did that just happen? Did my girl just get took? Yeah, that just happened. She was a hot commodity. So Nicola and Isaiah are their treat for being a power couple is to go in the hideaway. What a waste of a hideaway. Because Isaiah is not interested in Nicola. And Nicola she wants to, kiss on somebody and grind on somebody, because she's talking about, I don't know what could happen. We're friends, but anything could happen. Girl, what? You too hot in the pants. Do you even like Isaiah? I think she just wants to be fondled, and that's okay. We've all been there. But that was such a waste of a hideaway, because Isaiah, the guys are like, oh, Isaiah, don't change. He's like, I want to change. And he's like, I want to change. I'm not going to the hideaway in my Heartbreaks Challenge outfit. Isaiah goes and changes into probably a consistent, where is Isaiah? He's down here somewhere. Where is that claymation character? I just click on his picture. There he is. He changes into his best running errands outfit. Like, he looked like he was going to run to CVS to get some Band-Aids or something. Like, he did not look like he was going in a hideaway. And he did not fix up for any of that. He got his slides on and some shorts and a shirt. Nicola got a full lingerie. For what? She should have been in a muumuu. I would have been in a muumuu and a bonnet, because nothing is going down. Nothing is going down. So anyway, Isaiah and Nicola, they get into the hideaway. And as soon as they get in the hideaway, they get a text. And the text is like, listen, tomorrow you're going to have to pick 2 girls and 2 guys that are going to have to duel against each other. And you guys have to come to a consensus on that. So they are going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Shout out to Isaiah and Nicole, because they gagged the hell out of me. Because the way Nicole was like, oh, I have something with Chris and KK is my best friend. I bet that was the producers that told them to say that stuff, because I really thought that KK and Chris were safe all until we get to the next day and everybody gets a text. And the text is, Chris and KK will be going up against Andrea and Johnny. I was like, oh. And Isaiah was just like, listen, it's a game, and I cannot see myself beating either of those guys. Smart move. But again, who would have thought that Nicola and Isaiah were going to be the ones to set the tone of the game? My God, today, they made such a power move. I wouldn't have done it, because they have a target on their back. Oh, everybody and their mama is going to be working to get Isaiah and Nicole out the game. And why they are going to do that is because they now realize that Isaiah and Nicola are sharpshooters. They take it out everybody. And I know they probably didn't think that is the role that they would take on with that. They're probably thinking, oh, I just can't beat this other person, so I would rather them be out of the game. Yeah, I get that. But such a move like that, Chris and KK when Chris and KK had the power couple and they had to make those decisions, they kept on talking about likability and not wanting to piss people off. I don't know if they watched last season and they knew that people were going to have to vote or something like that to see who goes into the end. I don't know, but they were really strict about likability and not trying to piss people off. Isaiah and Nicola said, to hell with that. We're here for the money. Woo! Gags me. Bravissimo. So Chris and KK, Andrea and Johnny. Johnny's like, I knew it. Like, he's like, I know that everybody's going to try to get me out. Chris and KK were pissed. Chris is like, I can't believe my boy. And like, while Chris is saying, I can't believe my boy did that, Isaiah is just like, listen, this is a game. This is the game. Like, I had to do what I had to do. That was, listen, it was a power move. It was a smart move in the moment. I don't know if it's going to pay off for him in the end, but my God, today, that was some good TV. They misled me. They misled me. I said, Chris and KK. Ooh. Ooh. See what happens when you mammy? See what they never remember. They never remember that they nursed on your black teat. They never remember how you held them in your bosom. That's why I keep on telling y'all better stop being mammies. It will never pay off. It will never pay off. So anyway, before I move on to my next point, I want to say this. Nicola is hilarious. Like, just listening to her talk and like navigate throughout this game just proves to me how powerful and how influential Black American culture is. Because when she tries to communicate emotion, and mainly emotions that have to do with shock or joy, she relies heavily on African American, AAVE. She relies heavily on it. And it is just so hilarious because this woman is not American. And I bet you this is probably the first time she's met Black Americans. But she is so engulfed, not to the point where she knows everything, but she knows a little something about my culture. And it's just like, that is how influential Black American culture is, because it is now a part of her vocabulary. Like the whole, like when she is like trying to like relay like a big emotion, she's like, the hell? I don't think so. Like, it is all it is. It's a girl. And I'm like, wow, the power of Black American culture. My God, today. So after Nicola and Isaiah leave that sham of a hideaway, I feel like they spent as much time in there as they could, because Nicola and Isaiah did not want to leave the hideaway. They did not. So they come out of the hideaway, nobody greets them. Everybody is pissed and shook, and they're putting on their best performance, that they are like upset about this decision. Isaiah goes over to try to talk to Chris. Chris keeps his head straight. He's just like, no, I don't want to talk. And Isaiah's like, man, it's a game. Like, dog, can I talk to you? Chris is like, no, I am not your dog. Okay. And Isaiah's like, it's a game. We have to make a decision. And then he talks to the guys and he's just like, listen, I had to, because I don't want to go up against Johnny or Chris, because if I had to, I would lose. So I had to get them out of the game. So they're like, so Chris is like in his space. Nicola comes over to talk. Chris is not trying to hear her. KK gets up and walks away, because she just found out that, like, not only is this an elimination, it's an elimination you can't come back from. Because normally, so far, they have seen people eliminated and then people had to vote, or there was like some twist that saved them. This elimination, you're leaving right away. There's no twist that will put somebody else in the bottom or switch it up. This is just going home. So this is the most high stakes elimination they've ever had. So they are both pissed, and I understand. But Nicola is like, just uber emotional about it. And I'm like, girl, if you're going to get emotional about these decisions, then maybe you should just play it safe the entire game and not trying to win to be a power couple. Because if you want to win this, you have to remain a power couple, or you will constantly be unfair in this game. And especially now that you made a move like that, you and Isaiah better be power couple every damn episode. My God, today. So anyway, Nicola tries to go talk to KK. And I'm with KK. KK don't feel like no conversation. She has to get her. She's about to duel for her chances to stay in this game. And Nicola's just like, oh, I just want to talk to you, please. And KK's just like, no, I don't want to. No, thank you. It's okay. And she kept on trying to talk to her. And KK was just like, no, I'm about to compete. I got to get my head in the game. So no, thank you. So Nicola goes and she starts to crying. Here we go. Here we go. Weaponizing them tears. She starts crying and she's just like, if I was in that position, I would never react or treat somebody that way. How the hell do you know? Like, you all have played it so safe at this point. Nobody has had an elimination like that. And how are you going to tell somebody how to feel about a decision that you made for them to possibly lose a lump sum of money, especially if they need that joint? Like, don't try to win this then. If you are going to be like this every time you're power couple, because you're going to have to make a decision that's going to have to send somebody home. So she's crying, oh, I would never do that. Girl, bye. Like, KK is not your friend right now. She pissed off. She literally just found out. You want her to pet you. You want her to comfort you when you just made a decision that affects her livelihood. Like, that affects her chances in the game. Give the girl a minute. My God, today. What are you crying for? You made the decision. If you're going to cry every time you make a power couple decision, leave the show. Tighten up. Tighten up. You playing with big dogs. This is how the game is. I don't fault KK for being like, oh, I'm about to compete. I don't really want to talk about it right now. Because that conversation that Nicola wanted from KK was for KK to appease her. Was for KK to baby her, to mother her, to put her on her bosom and say, girl, it's okay that you might send me home. I'm fine with it. It's okay for KK to not be fine about a terrible decision you made about her chances on this game. It's okay. It's okay. Now, maybe you would have handled it a different way. KK is not you. And that is absolutely okay. And that is how this game is going to go. If you're going to cry every time you got to make a power couple decision, leave the show. Leave the show. With the tears on this game don't work. Take that to Love Island. The Hitler Youth ain't watching. So that's not going to benefit you on this show, mama. Listen, I have had no issues with Nicola this entire time. But that conversation, because listen, Chris gave you the cold shoulder as well. I didn't see you bawling. I didn't see you saying I would never treat nobody that way. But when you sat there with KK, all of a sudden your feelings is hurt. Ain't Chris the dingaling you want to hop on? Wouldn't you be mad at him rejecting you? No tears for him, but tears for KK. I see you and I don't like it. I hope you're next to go. I hope you are I don't like that. I didn't like what she did right there. Like, no, I would never do something. You did. You did that. You're probably sending this girl home. Now, Andrea gave you everything you want. Andrea said, no, it's okay. It's fine. I would have done the same thing too. That's how Andrea handled it. This is how KK is handling it. That's okay. Everybody's different people. They should be allowed to have emotion, right? They should be allowed to feel. Because I guarantee you, if Andrea treated you the same way, you would not have acted like such a victim. You would not have acted like such a victim. Anyway, so it is time for the duel. First up, we have Johnny. First up, we have oh, before we even get to that, I wanted to make a comment about this. Chris was like, so when Chris found out that he had the duel, and he couldn't believe that his boy, his dog, Isaiah put him up, he was like, man, that just lets me know that all of this is fake. You just found out? It's so weird. You guys are grown adults saying that you all are best friends with these people you met 72 hours ago. These people are not your friends. You don't know them. And friends don't compete against each other for $250,000. What are you? I cannot believe that you were in this game this entire time thinking that people were not going to vote against you or put you up to get out of the show or not see you as competition because you're friends. What? And it's so weird because it's only the Black people moving like that. All the Blacks think that everybody there is their friends. I feel like that's kind of a commentary on society, Black people. Y'all always think that everybody is your friend. And the same people you thinking about that are your friends are the same people trying to get you up and off the planet forever. They don't even want you in the Milky Way. But y'all like, oh my God, I can't believe my friend would do this. Yeah, you don't have any friends or allies, baby. Wake up. Wake up. Oh, so we're at the duel now, and Ariana asked, she asked Nicola. I think she asked Isaiah, but they just focused on Nicola because they're trying to give her the edit. You guys were right about that. So she focused on Nicola and she just asked her why did she make the decision that she made? And basically Nicola was just like, these are all strong competitors. And we made the decision to get out the strongest competitors. I will say this, Nicola told a totally different story this time than when she first came out. She said, oh, we were arguing the whole time. We hated it. We never wanted to make these decisions. And she was making it seem like Isaiah made all those decisions. Now she's just like, we came to an agreement to get out the strongest people. She playing the game. Not the smartest game, but she playing the game. And I'm telling you, she's going to play into her look and play real innocent and coy. But that girl's a sharpshooter. If anybody is smart, they better watch her. They better watch her. So she says we just had to take out the strongest competitor, right? So, and while she's saying that, she's just like, I didn't want to do it. I would have never. And she starts crying, right? She starts to, and Andrea starts crying and eating it up. And she's just like, I understand. I get it. KK was just like, I'm not giving you that. KK was just like, why are you crying? You're not the victim here. You're a power couple and you made a power couple decision. Own it. Like, what are you crying for? I'm the one that may go home. So keep that over there. And I love that she did that and did not allow her to try to make this moment about her. Because that's what Nicola has been doing the entire time. Trying to make herself the victim, trying to make KK the bad guy because she hurt her feelings. You made a decision that could kick her out of the game. And the decision you made was successful because Andrea and KK go against each other. And I'm telling you, Andrea used the hell out of that height. She pulled and flipped KK all over that mat. So the game was, you have to like a boxing thing, a punching bag or whatever. It drops down and each person is wearing a certain color. So by the time the bell goes off, the buzzer goes off, you have to be in your color with the bag to win. Andrea was just too tall. KK was so little and she was not using her littleness as an advantage. If I were KK, I would have stayed low to the ground. I would have kept on taking Andrea off her feet. And I would have kept on twisting and twisting and twisting on my side to hold her down. But KK, I guess the adrenaline, she just wasn't thinking like that. So Andrea, every time KK got on her feet, Andrea just pulled her. Because KK is so little. She should have used her littleness to her advantage. She used it to her disadvantage because she was playing this game like she was as tall as Andrea. And Andrea knew that and she knew what to do. She just kept on flipping. As soon as KK got on her feet, Andrea just flipped her and she ended up beating her. I will say, although it was a win for Andrea, it really, really wasn't. She was so hurt because her and KK have become extremely close. So before the game started, they were crying the whole day. They were crying the whole day. And Nicole was trying to cry the whole day. Let me tell you something. I love Justine. Where is she? Nicola was outside of the makeup room crying because Andrea and KK just kept on crying because not only were they afraid of going home, they're also friends and they did not want to compete against each other. And so Nicola was like crying outside the room and Justine was just like, why are you crying? Justine was like, what are you crying for? And she's like, oh, they're mad at me. And Justine was like, well, this is the game. I love her. Justine said, tighten up. This is what being a power couple is. This is how the game is going to go. And I will give that to her because Justine was taking them out left and right on her season, did not shed one tear. Even when she sent home Ray, who at the time was her best friend, didn't shed one tear. Gangster. I love her. So at the end, when Andrea and KK won, it wasn't like a win. They both just started breaking down and hugging each other. You know, their voices are shaking. They were so hurt. And I was like, damn, KK out the game. Next up is Chris. And I'm like, Chris, I hope you watch KK and I hope you know how to do this. So Chris and Johnny go up against each other. Woo! Them boys wanted that money. It was back and forth, flipping and pulling. It was so aggressive. However, unfortunately for Chris, Johnny is on the roids. My God, today, Johnny was a beast. You would not have known that he was so much shorter than Chris, the way he was flipping Chris all over that mat to the point where Chris broke his finger. First round, Chris broke his finger. He gets up and Ariana is just like trying to talk to them about the next round. And Chris is like, And she's like, Chris, what's wrong? He's like, I think I broke my finger. And she asked him how he did it. And he was like, he was pulling and twisting the punching bag, the bean bag from Johnny. And he twisted it. And I guess Johnny did a pull and it got his finger and he heard a pop. And so the medic came over and the medic was checking him. And the show decided that Chris could no longer compete in the competition. So by default, Johnny won. Johnny is always here. Remember when Johnny went after Jack, when it was him and Jack dueling? He whipped Jack's tail to the point where Jack had to get a medic. Every time a dude goes up against Johnny, he needs a medic. They better get him out next. Because if Chris couldn't survive Johnny, none of them dudes are going to be able to survive Johnny. My God, that boy came to win. He got to take care of that baby. He is not playing. So by default, Johnny won and Chris and KK have to go. And I was like, Chris, I know you wish you would have never said what you said, because when KK was eliminated, he said, I'm still going, me and KK, we're not done. I'm going to see her on the outside. I don't think he knew that he was going to see her immediately, because KK was just like, well, I hope me and Chris, I hope we continue what we're doing. I want to see what happens with us on the inside, what happens with us on the outside. Chris, I hope you're a man of your word. He probably, him and her will probably have a little fling at the hotel where they're all staying. But I feel like when they get back to the real world, I don't see Chris and KK working. But anyway, Chris and KK are eliminated. Johnny is here to live another day. Andrea is here to live another day. Andreina, that's my girl. I love her. But the way she was performing when Johnny was playing, to the point where she threw herself on the ground. Oh, she's just man crazy. God, my God, today it is just I was like, Adriana, get up. Get up. But anyway, this is a good episode. This was a good episode. I will say, I like that KK cleared it up for Nicola, not for Nicola, but for herself and her image. You know, I think it was very smart of her to do that, because how this audience treated the Black woman last season. I think it was just a smart move for her to let Nicola know it's okay. She has no beef against her. I will say, KK and Chris, I love the way they left. They were like, it's cool. It was a game. It was the adrenaline. Like, that's who we are. Like, that's how we were just playing in that game. But we understand. We get it. We don't hold any grudges with anybody. Win the game, y'all. They left on a high note and they left with their heads held high. And I really appreciate how they left. I will say this. The Black girls on this show, I'm going to need them to tighten up. I'm gonna need the volley girls are taking y'all out. Tighten up. That's all I had to say about this show. What do you guys have to say? 253 in the chat. Please make sure you like the video. It helps your girl grow in the YouTube algorithm. What's up, AMC? AMC said, I really hope the weirdo fans don't try to turn on KK for not coddling that girl. I think KK will be fine. I think she left on a good note. She cleared it up with Nicola. And also, this is an older audience watching it. Like I always say, the Hitler Youth, they're in school. This show is past their bedtime. I don't see them being involved in this show like they were during the summer. E for Empathy said, is it me or was Isaiah trying to do his best Paul Wall accent throughout this episode? Maybe I've never paid attention to his voice, but I kept screaming, what is this voice? I will say it did get a little, like, what you feeling like? What you feeling like? Like, what's up, dog? I can't believe it, man. It got increasingly Negro throughout the episode, and I'm like, what's going on here, Zay? But he could be another Nicholas, right? He could be another guy, another white guy that just grew up in a predominantly Black community, because I don't feel like he's putting it on. And the reason why I don't feel like he's putting it on is because he just never drops that voice. Like when he's scared, upset, whoever he's talking to, he never like switches it up. Like that is just how he talks. So maybe he grew up in a predominantly Black American environment. Who knows? I don't feel like he's putting it on though. So the Paul Wall is a bit accurate, but we'll see. We will see. Arcada said, I'm not mad Nicola put up those couples. It made strategic sense. What annoying me is the whining. Thank you. And throwing Isaiah under the bus. I wish it were me. Then offer it up for real, baby girl. Like, yeah, I didn't like that either. But she's playing the game. She is playing the game. She fell into that victim real quick, didn't she? With ease. With ease. Oh, that's why you always got to keep your head on swivel. Because she played that role like it was second nature. Hannah said, Zay irritated me so much this episode. Him asking Nicola for a hug, then getting mad when she takes the time to give him one. The toxicity is showing more and more. Yeah, I didn't like that. He's like, can I get a hug? And I'm like, oh, I didn't think she heard you. Hold on. Like, what are you so mad about? Like, I get that it was an intense decision making, but my God, today, like, what did she do? And that just gave me a peek into how he treated Sydney. Mel Ron said, hey, Star fam, I'll be listening in the background. Just wanted to say hi to everyone. Thank you for being here, Mel. Miranda says, is it just me or did it seem like Chris faked an injury because the producers have to get Johnny to the final? That could be. That could be. Or am I too paranoid about the producers? Damn it, Ace. I would never be too paranoid about these producers. I would never be. We've seen what they were able to do. So you are not paranoid. I think you have reasonable suspicion. Tia Bia said, hi, Star family. This episode was crazy. Now they need to get Isaiah away from Nicola. Sad Chris injured his finger. Johnny is a beast. He does not play. And now, not only does Isaiah have a target on his back, Johnny got a target. Because the men do not want to go up against him. Like, I think these men have a chance against Johnny if it's not a physical challenge. If it's a physical challenge, you're going home, babe. You're going home. Johnny got a baby to feed. He is not playing. He is not playing. Obviously, me said, I don't like Nicola's explanation for why she chose the people who she chose. She said it wasn't so she could personally advance. Okay, then what was it for then? Be so damn for real right now. And then the whole, when KK left, I wish that were me. No, you don't. No, you don't. This victim role with her, I don't like it. I want her off this show. I do not like it. Hannah said, yeah, I think Chris knew he couldn't win a second round. Listen, with that finger being popped, I will say this. Chris is crazy enough and competitive enough where I think he would have competed with a broken hand, with a broken finger. I think the medic was just like, yeah, no. Here is why. Insurance, and there's a possibility that he can sue. The show has to protect himself. Once a cast member gets injured, it's over for them. It's over for them. So I think Chris had to say basically that it was his decision as well, because the show was not going to let him compete. Kimberly said, I would have voted the same way, made the challenge more even, in my opinion. Listen, they had to do what they had to do. They made a great decision. My thing is, stand on it. Why y'all being punks about it? Stand on it. Nicola should have been like, I do not see myself being able to win against you or KK, Andrea. That's why I did it. KK, I love you. I like you. Your energy is great. If it ever came down to it and I competed against you, I am afraid that you would beat me and I would have to go home. So I had to make a safe and sound decision. I hope you understand that. I think everybody, even still pissed, would have respected that because that's what everybody else is doing. Now, Chris and KK, it's their fault for not thinking like that, right? Mert and Celine shouldn't have been in the bottom. Y'all should have picked people who you knew were going to, were probably going to beat you. But y'all thinking about Friendship Island. Now that Isaiah and Nicola let everybody know it's Enemy Island, now we got a game. Now we got a show. And now we're going to see people show out in ways we haven't. Thank you, Nicola and Isaiah. Lavender Girl said it could have been. Woo! I'm sorry, Nicola was giving me hooded with that. She was giving. That's another reason why I need her out, because I'm like, if you're going to play like that against the black girls, I want you gone. A Wonderful Life said, I think they will let Justine win. I think they would let Justine win. She's going to have to earn it. Yeah, Justine is going to have to like kick it in gear, because her and Josh are next. Obviously, me said, I don't like how Zay was talking about Chris and starting to use more Ebonics as he got angrier. I'm going to tell you this. I think Isaiah, when he's home and not on the show, I think he wears a do-rag at night. I think he's transracial. Miranda said, kind of seems like Nicola is being tortured. Sadly, I have no pity left to give. They built her up. No, she's not being tortured. That is the role she's playing. She's playing the victim role. Because when she was in there with Isaiah, they was going back and forth and making the decisions. Guys, y'all have to see it. As soon as she walked out of the hideaway, her face was straight. When she saw people, she went, she turned it on as soon as she saw everyone. Before she was walking out, fine. And then as soon as she saw Kendall and all them sitting down, she was like, shoulders down, head bopping like a little child, offering them to ask her what was wrong. And she's just like, oh, it was so bad. Isaiah made me. She made herself the victim. She made herself the victim. And that is what when non-Black women take on that Karen role, they do it in a way that is not safe for Black women or any man, because they do that to men as well. Because she immediately made Isaiah the aggressor. Immediately made that boy the aggressor. And he was fighting her for the decision she was trying to make. Like they were both going back and forth. But as soon as she got out, it was Isaiah. He forced me. He made me do it. Dangerous. That girl is dangerous. A Wonderful Life said, because Adriana is not a threat. That's the smartest move. Oh, yes. Smart. I get it. It was a smart move. I'm just saying, stand on it. Oh, she's so dramatic. Johnny, and throwing herself all around. I'm like, Adriana, come on. Girl, stand up. Stand up. Art World said, Johnny is so strong. He literally had to drag Chris full body weight. I did not want to see them battle just yet. That's another thing. I wish the show would have interfered, because I feel like Chris and Johnny, that battle would have been for later in the season. I would have kept Chris and Johnny till the end. Oh, because it was such a good battle. Now I'm just like, who's left? Who's left to really battle? Isaiah and Kendall? Who the hell wants to see that? Your two strongest players went against each other. And now Johnny has no real competition. It's whack. It's whack. Hey, Nasby. Wagwan. Arcadis said, I'm getting the ick from Adriana like Tyreek did. I wouldn't blame Johnny for dropping her. She's just a lover girl, y'all. She's just a lover girl. Art World said, Chris needs to know this is a game. He should have made the final two with Isaiah. Being bros is enough to save you. Absolutely. It's a game. And Isaiah let everybody know. Let's play. Thank you, Isaiah. Tia B said, I wonder why Nicola had to explain the power couple's choice. Isaiah should explain his decision in front of everyone too, or did I miss it? I think Isaiah explained as well. I think they edited it out so that Nicola could look like the victim. But also so that we can catch Nicola in her lies. I like KK too. I'm going to miss her. She was a joy. And no shade, being a dark-skinned Black woman, I'm going to miss all the dudes pursuing his dark-skinned sister. No shade. I'm going to miss it. I need Justine to step it up, but she's here for the money. Oh my God. No. I was in the rapture of StreamYard. Oh, Lord. Oh, she would have absolutely went home. Andreina against Andrea. Oh, she would have went home. And she would have did Johnny a favor. They would have did Johnny a favor. They're not doing Johnny any favors. Art World said Johnny may set his sights on Andrea. If KK had more of a hold on the bag, she could have won. She was pulling too much weight. She should have sat down more. I would have been flipping Andrea. If I was that short like KK got them big little legs. I would have been flipping her. I would have taken her feet out. Like there was so much she could do with her no height advantage. But, when you're in the thick of it, you're not really thinking. Miss Lou said, KK is already getting a Mean Girl edit, and I hate that. Listen, we stand strong. We stand strong. We've been here before, child. Shoni said, I was ready for Chris to go, but I didn't want him to get injured, although I didn't see his finger wrapped up on the way out. I don't think that he was playing that, though, because as soon as they separated, he immediately bent down. So that boy wasn't paying. Miranda said, Isaiah's a bit of an oddity. I think I can't get a read on him because he doesn't really know himself yet. Absolutely. Absolutely. Guys, because Black American culture is not only so popular and influential, it's also cool. And if you want to be a cool guy, like Black men and Black women are the epitome of cool. So a lot of people mimic us, especially in their youth. We won't know who Isaiah is till about 33. Till about 33. Nala said Chris mad because he knew he was going to be dragged. Listen, Johnny took down a 6'8" man. He feeling himself. He feeling themselves. Oh yeah, they're trying to, but it's a whole different audience. I don't think it will work. Lily said Chris was doing good, but I think he did give. I don't think he gave up, guys. I think his finger actually was broken, because if it wasn't, they would have let him continue to play. Like the medic came in and said, no, I don't think the show was gonna lie like that. The medic said he cannot compete. Spency said, I hope people chill out on KK. I think she was just annoyed and she's human. Her reaction made sense. I get Nicola's decision. It was smart strategically. So I'm not on that clan site anymore, also known as Twitter. Are they dragging KK on there? If so, I'm not surprised. Nala said, damn, I'm still watching until Nikki get on. I don't want him to get hurt, but I want him to go home with all of his parts. Well, he got a dangly finger, child. Nala said, especially when a Black person speaks, they be so fragile. Guys, we're at the end of times. Who cares? Be fragile. F your feelings. Oh, Toby's gone. Tia B said Isaiah can go. Toby too after Thursday night. I can't believe Tupac left tonight. Tupac, two people of color left tonight. Yeah. I hope we get some more sisters on the show. Hey, Yasmin, thank you for being here. Tia B said, I'm proud of KK. I wouldn't have spoken to the person sending me into the duel. We'll chat afterwards. Absolutely. Absolutely. Miss Lou said KK getting up and leaving should have been Nicola's sign to leave her alone. Yes, she got to get her head in the game. And it's not a moment, because Nicola wanted to make KK's sorrow about her. And that was not the time to do that. Yeah, she lost me. She can't get me back after that. When you invoke that, you're done. A Wonderful Life said Isaiah and Nicola made the right choice for the game, and that's what matters, not Friendship Island, even though I'm upset KK is gone. Same. I feel the exact same way. Like, they made the best decision for them, but I'm still sad that my girl is gone. Nas B said, I'm simply not paying attention to any hate. KK needing space. She was kind and respectful in her initial response, and they resolved their thing by the end. Let's ignore the rage baiters and bots. Absolutely. Absolutely. Great High said, Nicole is annoying. They love to act like it's Pity Island. Y'all did that with the Maya as well. Yep. Miranda said, I had the weirdest experience whenever Sydney was on the screen. It's like my eyes didn't want to look at her, like she's trying to yeah. You know what? Same. It's like she's colored so differently than everybody else. She washes herself out, and I feel like why she looks the way she looks is because the HD cameras are trying to color correct her in real time. And she probably looks distorted because she's so washed out, and because they can't properly light her, because they have to light everybody like an ensemble. It's weird. Her face, it's weird. It's not you. It is the cameras trying to properly light and color correct her. Hey, Renee, thank you for being here. Hey, Nell, thank you for being here. Girl, bye. Kimberly said, kick Nicola out. I don't like weaponizing tears or sympathy. Amaya, yep. Megan said, the Love Island social media manager needs to stop feeding into the unnecessary vitriol these islands get with their captions. Oh, after season 7, I don't follow Love Island. I don't engage. I'm good on them. Arcada said, Tyreek's face when Adriana fell to the ground. I too got the ick. I forgive you, Johnny. Tyreek was like, Adriana, my girl. You guys are so sweet. Thank you so much. They did. I said, oh, they made it a show now. They set the tone. Finally, now it's a game. Hannah said, I'm glad they destroyed the false friendship mentality they had. Yep. Great episode. I enjoyed it. But I absolutely agree with you. She has to go. Miss Lou said, yep, the Love Island TikTok page had the caption "Manners Matter" under the video of KK and Nicola. Oh, they're feeding into it. Well, KK got a case. KK got a case. Tish R said, remember 250K? I will be cutthroat. Absolutely. Art World said, Johnny already knew it was going to be him. Chris still on Friendship Island. Should have clocked in and made a final 2 with the guy just in case. Yep. Kimberly said, Nicola and Zay knew that Adriana were not threats, so they didn't throw them strategy. Smart. Megan said, I'm sorry, but I'm over Nicola. I don't mind the strategy because it was smart, but stand on it. Stop apologizing. Thank you for getting your biggest competition out. I will be celebrating. I agree. Tia B said, I want a recoupling. I can't remember if Love Island Game Season 1 did one. I am not sure. Let me know, guys. Do we do recouplings on Love Island Games? Eva Empathy said, yes, y'all support this Black woman-owned business with like, shares, subs, and hypes. Thank you all so much. We're not. When she did that, I said she can go. Great Height said it's not Friendship Island, but you have to build friendships for safety as well. Y'all stupid. It's friendship that kept Kendall. I will say that, and Great Heights, nobody here is stupid. I will say that is smart to do. That's why I said, I don't think that Isaiah and Nicole, I think they made a smart decision of getting out their biggest competition, but I don't think they made the best decision for them in the long run because they did such a shisty move that now the target's on their back because everybody is just like, oh, they're friends with nobody. So I don't know. Arcadis said, wow. So shout out to Cassie, Daniela, and Johnny from past seasons calling out the Love Island TikTok for flaming the mean girl narrative against KK. What is happening? Keep me informed. Sarah said, Sydney is very much a bird. Can y'all see why she flopped on Love Island? Oh, yeah. I didn't know that she was on both. Hannah said, Sydney's hair kept bugging me. We can all see the ends. Yeah, she probably just got that done for the show. But again, them HD cameras are not forgiving. Do not, don't put your best foot forward, please. Spency said, wait, I thought Sydney was being smart. LOL. I thought she was playing for the money. Ciao. Who knows? Who knows? Wonderful Life said, Sydney been talking like that. She's a very cool girl, though, not Bird or Ditsy. Okay, I'm going to trust you, but she was giving me Bird. Arcadis said, Love Island TikTok is captioned the scene for Nicola and KK to frame KK as a mean girl and got called out. Oh, good. I love that. Miss Lou said, I think Sydney's self-esteem was really damaged by Isaiah. Hence, poor thing. And she was so hot with that red hair. Hi, Ice Macchiato. Thank you for being here. Nasby says, Sydney came off bland tonight. She's either going to fly under the radar and go far or get voted off because no one is in the villa, nor the audience will feel connected to her. True. It could go either way for her. Yeah, do y'all know what that meant? Do y'all know what that meant? Thank you, Josie. The good guy that put your life at risk with his dingling. Play with your heart, mind, and soul. He's a good guy. Brainwashed. The girls are brainwashed. The girls are brainwashed. TA said, Sydney, wow, she needs to lock it down. This is games. Is that her gameplay coming in, talking and acting like that? Listen, they said that she talks like that. Okay. Always Prices says, stop protecting grown men. I agree. Devonda said, I knew they would. They always knew they were edited KK that way. People were trying to gas me for defense of KK. Listen, you were on it. And you were right. Miranda said, let's go. Knocked out the first power couple immediately after their win. I fully think J and J could have won both rounds, but better to be safe than draw a bigger target than the one Justine walked in with. Yep. I think they have enough season 1 people. I hope they bring people from other countries. Obviously, we said literally every time a Love Island ex enters the villa, they link with their ex. I think Eyal is the only man to have ever resisted messing around with an ex when she came in during Love Island game season. Oh, yeah, I do remember that. Lavender Girl said, and when she said, I'm not friends with any of these girls, okay, ask Andrea how that went for Sydney. Ciao. Devonda said, I'm off Nicole in her tears because I felt like she did. A Wonderful Life says, Sydney is saying that to maybe get in their heads. She said something completely different to Toby, and Zeta and Deb said it's 100% over. Hopefully. Oh, he is waiting for the opportunity. Kimberly said, Nicole and Andreina need to go home. I don't want a sympathy win like Amaya. I don't think that's going to happen this time because I think that people are, listen, if they're smart, they would start kicking off the weaklings as well. You got to be strategic with that because those weaklings could get a sympathy edit from America. Be smart, y'all. Tia Bia said, Isaiah said something like, hey, you look healthy. The lies he told her, she needs that colored hair back, at least. Nas B said Nikki Isaiah never had the girls in the first place to lose them. LOL. He was in a friendship couple with someone he wasn't attracted to with no other option, especially since Solene went home. True. Josie said Adriana is funny to me, so I'm fine with her staying. The falling out over Johnny. I said, girl, you doing too much. Me too. I don't like this environment for her. She's not herself. Oh, she's not going to lock in. She's a lover girl. She's not going to lock in. Alexa said, what sort of chemical pill has Sydney done to her face? It looks like layers. Oh my, what did she look like before, y'all? Because y'all are not happy about this new look. Devonda said, Black women on the show are never shown any grace by this fan base when they express themselves in a way that they feel isn't right. The hell with them. I'm pissed. And then KK hugged her and they still ain't happy. Oh, see, so I'm not on social media like that. What is going on? That's why I said, please don't be a mammy. It'll never work for you. It'll never work for you. I would love for a Black girl to go on there and give everybody hell. I want it. I want a Black girl on there who does not give a damn. I would love to see it. Justin Mina said, Adrienne is a sweetheart. This isn't the show for her. Absolutely agree. What's its purpose that Adriana would have worked out so well with Jeremiah? Listen, she will have the opportunity because as soon as Johnny can get rid of her, he is. Hey, Amaya said her friends from her season were on TikTok live saying she's not going back. Who? Whose friends? A Wonderful Life said, I hated Chris at the end talking about KK outside the challenge, not redeeming himself. Well, listen, now he has to he got to put up. He said that they're not done. Did he mean that? I do too. He wants to win. He wants to win. Oh, absolute waste. Josie said Chris is hypocritical AF. He said he's here for the game strategy, but gets mad when Isaiah is being strategic. Poor sportsmanship. Absolutely. He acts really, really young. Remember when I thought he was 24? He acts very, very childish. Chris acts so childish to the point where Josh, who is a year older than him, keeps on calling him a kid. He's like, I like that kid. He's a great kid. I want to miss that kid. You're a year older than him. But Chris acts so young. Nasby said the woman looking love focus is all intentional on the producer's editor parts. Just Steve is here for the competition, and we hardly see her unless the show is pushing a romance connection storyline. Very true. Very true. I will say this. I really like the challenges. I hope Love Island Games next year gets rid of the heart rate challenge because I hated the fact that we had people in the bottom over the heart rate challenge. I just can't respect it. I don't think it's fair. I can't say, oh, that makes sense. I cannot respect it. I felt like they should have been in the bottom because they did poorly in a challenge that is respected. The heart rate challenge isn't it. Oh, they didn't raise somebody's heart rate. You can't really call that. How is that fair? Especially if they went last, especially if they went in the middle. Like everybody who went first raised heart rates. And then you got somebody like this Bombshells coming in. Marvin's a new guy. So that's the heart rate is raised right there for different reasons. And I just don't think it's fair. Give me shelter. You are right on time. A Wonderful Life said they only did the hideaway because they needed to hide the duel. Any couple who went in would have wasted it and been so stressed taking out their friends. True. I think that was smart. Betty said Nicole and her tearful sympathy edit won't win on my watch. Absolutely. If anything, I think it's going to work against her because the fan base, the adults, the ones with a fully developed brain and who are educated, I don't think they're going to let that happen again. I don't think they're going to let that happen again, especially since Maya was such a poor win. It was just like the girl who came in second is eating your girl up. And she was the winner. So I don't think that's going to work in her favor. Art World said production was so wrong for opening the hideaway and nothing happened. Nothing happened. There was no kitty eating in the hideaway. Obviously, me said calling Isaiah he's so claymation coded. Tia B said the hideaway should have stayed closed. They could have picked those couples in the kitchen over Toasties. Absolutely agree. Obviously, me, thank you for the super chat. Obviously, me said Isaiah is putting it on Isaiah is putting it on or rather exaggerating it. Where is he from? Did you say he's from Jacksonville? Let me know. K-Pret, thank you for the super chat. K-Pret said, I went on the Love Island Instagram and there are a young 22-year-old black girl saying KK had an attitude. I clicked the profiles and they seem real. Oh, well, we've already talked. I've told you guys, like all the kids are red pilled, especially the black ones. Young black people, Gen Alpha and young Gen Z are extremely anti-black. It is scary. If the parents of these kids do not clock in on them and get those brains and mold them back to some black joy, some black power, that generation is going to make sure everything that we have fought for in this nation and how we have impacted people globally, our people globally, they're going to make sure we lose all of our rights. Your anti-black kids are weapons that will form against us and they will prosper. Get y'all kids. They are anti-black. It is scary out there. Amaya said they just used a hideaway to strategize in private. They did it in season 1. Oh, see, I don't remember that. For some reason, I only remember parts from season 1. I don't remember a lot. Tia Bia said targets for sure. Isaiah can go home ASAP. Nicole is a good competitor. But after this move, I don't think anybody's going to trust her. Betty said game-wise, it was the best decision. Yep. Game-wise for them. I think it was the best decision for them game-wise concerning competitors. I don't think it was the best decision for them game-wise on the other end where friendship matters because they blew all of that up. Half the top competitors take each other out, but I thought Nicola was going to try to save Chris for herself and pick KK to go home, so Chris is free. Me too. Kimberly said Nicola doesn't have anyone who is remotely looking at her now that Chris is gone. Fool. A Wonderful Life said KK and Chris didn't really have the same powerhouse couples when they needed to vote someone off, though. True. Devonda said Nicola and Isaiah got the complexion for the protection. I don't think so. I think that Johnny's going to make sure Isaiah goes. Because say whatever you want, he put that boy at risk. Jimmy said this super fan base is going to pity vote Nicola. I don't think they will. I don't think they're watching it like that, y'all. I'm telling you, it's been so peaceful. It has been so peaceful. I don't think the Hitler Youth is watching it like that. TA said, I knew Isaiah was going to move like that. Nicola wanted KK out so she could get with Chris. Well, Chris is going there, so who's she going to have now? All them white boys said they not on her. So she's dead in the water. A Wonderful Life said, I'm just happy they ended the episode clearly tonight so that the discourse can be fair on the day off. Ciao. This was a good episode. Megan said KK had little to no chance against Andrea because she does weightlifting competitions. KK did well, but Andrea was just stronger. I don't even think Andrea was stronger. She's taller and she used her height to her advantage. KK had an advantage as well, being very low, and I would have made sure she was tripping all over herself. But KK was trying to go at Andrea with height, and I'm like, you're gonna lose. Nasby said Nicola let Isaiah win the vote for the boys' duel. We saw it in the argument, and she said it to Ariana, and Nicola admitted to Andreina that she voted to spare Andreina because Andreina has been through it. But she's absolutely lying. She wanted to get out her biggest competition. She does not see Adriana as competition at all. Arcada said the risk is that this early, because Isaiah doesn't have many alliances in there. Tariq, Toby, and Johnny. Yep. Yep. I think they're gone. I think given the opportunity, those two will be gone. And everybody will be like, well, you did it to me, and well, you can't be trusted. Ice Macchiato said Nicola tried to weaponize those white tears with KK when KK was cordial. Water is wet, child. Cameron said, I don't know if I'm late, but hey, NikkiStar family, we survived the rapture. We did. We survived the rapture. She sure did. She sure did. It's so poorly used, but it shows you how much of the world is like clocked into Black American culture. Betty said, I get being upset, but Chris was being a petty princess. If they do as they did season 1 and dumped Islanders came back for the jury vote, that may come back to bite Isaiah. Yeah, I think so too. Tia B said, you caught that too, Nikki? Nicola knows English when she wants to. Yep. Oh, she sure is. She is the Malta Belladasha. They weren't, because they knew. They knew it was on. They knew. They knew. I agree, Jimmy. They were not obligated. They didn't have to. I would have been like, KK, I'm preparing. Thank you. You made your decision. I got to prepare. Miranda said, am I the only one that saw Johnny chewing the air? I'm going to need him to bring the intensity down. Oh, he's not playing, y'all. Johnny's ego is bruised from losing to Jack. He is not playing. Obviously, we said Love Island Games jury was some of the worst TV I've seen in my life. I hope they don't bring that back. Go ahead and cancel the whole season if they are. I think they are, because the way Ray acted, a plum fool. Nasby said, I don't think I'm falling for the white woman tears with Nicola. I think she's sincere. I think the producers are editing things to skew opinions. Nicola has cried for almost every elimination before this. I will agree with you. I do think that producers are doing their demonic magic and, giving her the edit. I'm not going to give her a pass, though. I think we do that far too much, and we always end up getting played. I'm done. You're not going to get a pass. No. You know enough. You know enough about Black culture. You know our language. You want to hop on our men. So I don't think you don't know that how those tears work against the Black woman. Nah, she gets no pass from me. He got something, because that boy is not playing. Takara said, I get that she didn't want to have a conversation, but I would have pulled a Shelly saying we could talk later. I think that KK handled it beautifully. I have no critique. Jimmy said, I hate producers of this show and the way they treat Black women. But listen, at some point, Black women have to take responsibility. Y'all keep on coming on this show that, uses you to abuse you. Nobody's putting a gun to your head. Because we talked about it last season. I said from here on out, any sister that comes on this show, you're on your own. I'm not stressing myself out no more, because you know who Love Island is. You know how they treat Black women. You come on this show, Godspeed. I'm going to keep you in my prayers. I'm not working up my spirit again. You know what it is. You know what it is at this point. TA said, the only way I will put my energy back into this show like that again is if we get a Black girl on that show that terrorizes everyone. I will fight every person in the Hitler Youth for that sister. If she comes on and she is apologetically herself and she don't give a damn, I want her to be like, I'm not apologizing to that heifer. I want her to be her. Listen, take them down, sister. That's the only way I'll clock back into Love Island. If a sister's on there being a total menace, if she's the villain, if she's on her best Amorosa, if she's on her best Nene Leakes when she was on The Apprentice, I'm a rock with her because that show needs to be destroyed by a black woman. I will fight everybody for that chick. That's the only way. Other than that, if the black girls that come on here and marry these non-black girls, have fun. Have fun. I'm not stressing myself out. TA said Chris and KK had the right to feel like that. Didn't act that way. They did because like how would you this? First of all, a lot of people are not understanding. This was the highest stakes elimination ever. This is an immediate elimination. Every elimination before this, there's been a twist. There was no twist. You were just leaving. So they had every right to feel the way they felt because they just found out. Like, no, Nicola, I'm not wiping your tears because you voted me up for elimination. Go to hell. Please. Oh, me too. Me too, because you would and you did. You would and you did. You're just saying that now because you look like the bad guy. Newsflash, Nicola, you are. Own it or get off the show. Betty said, I was ready for Andrea to leave. Sad KK left, but she redeemed herself a little bit. Maybe it's for the best before Bird K took over and ruined her redemption arc. Yeah, look at it on the bright side. She was so polite and she didn't have to be. Miss Lou said, Nicola fully lost me with that just lying. Yep, she's playing the game. But this is the thing. A lot of people do not see this, but I've seen this in all of the game shows that I watch. One of the best strategies white women have on this show is to not only put in their white woman tears, but to also be the damsel in distress. Nicola is playing into all of that, and it is working for her perfectly. I have seen it work for so many white women on these game shows. Trishelle is the first person that comes to mind. The way she villainized, I forget her name, but she is... she was on RuPaul's Drag Race. Peppermint, the way she villainized Peppermint, and then she villainized every other black person after that. And she won. Nobody clocked it because she was the damsel in distress and she was crying all the time and she was scared. That strategy works for them every time. And nobody clocks it. Nobody clocks it. And that is exactly what Nicola is doing. She knows enough about America to know how that works. Hey, Metamorphosis. Thank you for being here. Hollywood said Nicola in her special. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Megan said, I had no problem with what KK said. She had to get into a certain mindset because she was up for elimination. Agreed. They all want that because that's what they expect. That's why I'm just like, stop mammying them. Give them hell. Give them hell. Hannah said KK was right to be mad. Absolutely. Devonta said they called the black women their friends. Then they go into confessional crying and acting like victims. Ariana pissed me off, asking KK how she felt going against her friend. Well, she has to say those things or ask those questions. Alexa said, I would never do that or talk to somebody else like that ever. Please. Right? But it's going to work in her favor. It always does. Because it's never clocked. I love when KK clocked her, though. KK was just like, you're not the victim. Like, so you made the decision, and we're here. I love that she said that. Sarah said, I didn't think KK did too much. I was like, what the F when Nicola was crying, talking about how I would never talk to someone that way. Exactly. We're sensible people over here. We know KK did nothing wrong. Jimmy said, people are being so mean towards KK. I'm so frustrated. She'll be all right. She'll be all right. Not nearly enough people is watching the show for it to make that much of an impact on her. She will be fine, and I'm glad her friends are fighting for her. Jimmy, thank you, Jimmy. Ice Macchiato said, right, and KK was so cordial and respectful, and she didn't have to be. I wouldn't have been. Devon said, clock it, Nikki. She ain't had no smoke for Chris. Absolutely. Because that's how that works. That's how they work. Give it enough time. Yeah. TA said Nicole is manipulative and with the fake tears after her decision, not buying it. Yep. But she's going to play that role. She's going to play that role all the way to the end until somebody takes her out. They better clock it. Zora said because she doesn't see KK as a fully actualized person. Yep. worthy of feeling of all kinds of emotions. Let's be real. I absolutely agree. Lavender Girl said, normalize giving people space when they ask for it. Thank you, Lavender Girl, because that's what is being overlooked here. She asked for her space. Nicola refused to give it to her. Nicola refused to give it to her. She asked for her space several times, and Nicola continued to disregard her wishes and tried to force a conversation on KK. Nasty work. KK didn't owe Nicola any emotional labor. Absolutely. It's Simone said, and they better not give KK the season 7 treatment for her reaction to Nicola wanting to talk, because I felt KK on that. Let me get my mind in the game. Absolutely. Absolutely. Devonda said, what we in defense of KK emotions? I'm tired of the Black women having to give grace to non-Black women, but none is given to them. Absolutely. Absolutely. No, but they are all doing this. You're my best friend in the house. I think that's over. I think that's over. Hey, Tish. Tish said at this point, Black women shouldn't care what people say and think. They probably blame the rapture on us. Yeah. Like, we're not dealing with sensible people. Like, let it go. You're dealing with people who do not like you because of the color of your skin. They're not smart. Screw them. Spency said KK's reaction was normal, but Chris was acting like a baby. Yeah, he absolutely was. Josie said Chris feels entitled to loyalty, whether it's KK or Isaiah. He's weird and full of himself. Yikes. Betty said, I hated that Nicola expected KK, who's at risk of going home and has to mentally, emotionally prep to duel, to suppress her feelings and comfort her. She was looking for a mammy. That's how they see us, as a mammy. Nicola can get the F on. Kay absolutely said, no, thank you, several times. And Nicola disregarded her wishes. Jimmy said, those Brits are going to team up and get Isaiah out of there. Oh, absolutely. Takara said, yeah, Chris was so annoying. Like, so you're 6'8". You knew the target would be you. He was even saying that, though. So I don't know why he was gagged. A Wonderful Life said, I don't think Nicole is manipulative. I think she was selfish and didn't put herself in KK's shoes and not built for the consequences of those decisions. And that's great. I think otherwise. Always Prices said, LOL, 72 hours and y'all supposed to be loyal. Strange. My best friend in the house. How so? I know when people go on Love Island and they call these people that they just met best friends, I know those people's real best friends are at home like, what? I wish one of my best friends would go on these game shows and say, oh, this is my best friend. Really? Oh, we're going to have a conversation when you get out of that, when you get off of that show. Phoenix said, these non-Black people want us to die. Just look at what's going on, child. And yet we're always here. Ice Macchiato said, but Chris walked around saying, yeah. So I don't know why Chris was shocked. I mean, I was shocked because the way the editing of the show went. But if I were Chris, I would have expected to be called up every time. Like Johnny. Johnny was just like, I get it. I would have done it too. I don't know how he was mad. I would have been like, yeah, well, I figured that I'm going to be fighting for my life every challenge. Nasby said, I didn't like that Nicola said that she would have never treated someone that way. She wasn't being empathetic to KK. Seems Nicola is okay with being vulnerable, but not with making others vulnerable. It's just her gameplay. It's her victimizing herself. This is her gameplay. You're not friends. You're not best friends. Silk said, to be fair, I grew up going to summer camp, and when you have no phone and hang out with people 24 hours a day, you get close fast. I agree. I absolutely understand that. But thank God for Nicola and Isaiah waking everybody up. This is a game. Tish said, I think Europeans are in cahoots against the Americans. Aren't they always? Nicole said, they were making me mad all episode. This is a game. Everyone should be out for themselves. I agree. Hey, Taisha. Said Nicola was wrong, but I got a sense that Chris and KK thought they were so above being picked. I don't think that Chris and KK thought they were so above being picked. I think Chris and KK thought it was Friendship Island, because friendship is also a part of this game as well. And remember, Chris and KK picked based on friendship. They probably should have picked differently. I agree, TA. Give Me Shelter said, that's what is wild to me. I get the show is called Love Island, but it's a competition show. If it were me, friendships would be for utility purposes only. Yep. Nasby said, no, Nikki. Nicola said that she did not make the decision to put herself in a better position. She maintained that position the whole way. Okay. Josie said, yep, Nicola kept throwing Isaiah under the bus. I hope Isaiah is clocking it. I don't think he is. Isaiah's head is messed up right now because Sydney is there. Isaiah was extremely emotional this episode, and I don't think it had anything to do with him making that decision to send Chris, his best dog, in. I think it's Sydney being there. Zora said, she said Isaiah wanted to vote them in. Isn't that what they did during the elections last year? Now, I didn't hear that, but if that is what she said, then Isaiah need to be trying to switch partners. Renee said, hey, Nikki, thank you for joining. And if you didn't hit the like button, hit it on your way in. Much love for your support. Thank you, Renee. Megan said, friendship didn't matter with Mert and Solene. So why did KK and Chris think it would matter with them? They were the biggest competition, so of course they were targeted. Well, it did matter for Chris and KK when they made the vote, right? Because they weren't close to Mert and Solene. They weren't even that close to Justine and Josh. But remember, in their deliberation, they said, if we do this, people are going to be mad. People are going to be upset. Like, they both were talking about strategy, and it was competitive strategy, and it was also friendship strategy. They thought of the whole shebang. Nicola and Isaiah just were thinking about competition. They weren't thinking about the competition outside of the physical competitions, because there is a whole mental aspect of of this show, and it is the friendships you make. What's His Purpose said, you, Blue Centric, and everyone non-Black person that switched up during this election woke me right the F up. Explain it a little better. Devonna said, Justine peeped her game and told her this can't be avoided and wasn't hugging on Nicola and gave hugs to KK. Yeah, Justine was just like, what are you crying for? What are you doing? This is the game. Tia B said KK acted like any sane person would have, especially when you could. Yes, that's a lot of money for somebody who doesn't have that. Betty said, yes, I was proud of KK for keeping it real. Nicola was not the victim. Power couple can stand on business with your decision. Viewers calling KK mean girl for that truth are so annoying. Absolutely. It was a good challenge. Nasby said Isaiah also told the others that they didn't agree on the votes as well. I think Isaiah wanted to vote based on strategy, and Nicola let emotions impact her choices. You could tell they were both upset. Oh, absolutely. Ayed Simone said, I wish she could have put her shoes back on. She could have used that grip to hold her ground. I wish she would have just kept it low. She would have beat her if she kept it low. You would have wore her out that way. Because KK is so small, I would have been jumping back and forth. A Wonderful Life said, when KK lost the show, she should have taken off the socks. I knew she was done after that. Yeah. Josie says, same with Chris. I think his height was a disadvantage. Yep. Because it became strength over height. And with Andrea and KK, it was a height issue. Because I think they had both equal strength, because they were both pulling that bag back and forth. But every time KK stood up, she was losing. Every time she was low, she had her. Nicole said, KK and Andrea truly were equally matched and such strong competitors. I agree. She did. She really did. That decision did not come up to strength. It came up to strategy. Absolute strategy. She was like, you're crying? She was so disappointed in her. Edge, what's up? Said, did KK cry when Solene called her a B? Everyone thought that was hilarious. Nobody villainized Solene. Of course they didn't. I like Justine, right? I feel like Justine is going to be the one. That fan base is going to try to play with Justine, and they're going to find out real quickly. You don't mess with that champ. Nicole said, love Justine, LOL. She was like, pull it together. This is a competition, period. Ray was such a baby. I hated the way he made Justine feel for winning. I hated it. Betty said they need better duels. That level of playing field, regardless of people's sizes and strengths, so no advantage. Like the sliding heart comp, Charlie and Justine and Andrea and Johnny versus Gar. Yeah, I really like that, but I think it's going to go back and forth. So people need to prepare for the physical aspect and the mental aspect. So I feel like for the physical aspect, Johnny is going to eat. If it comes down to a mental game, the boys got him. But physically, nobody's beating him. Nobody's beating him. I know, Josie. That's why I said it. Josie said, I told you Johnny is on roids. That's why. Oh, goodness. Yikes. Yikes. Oh, no. If it's based on strength, he's there. It's Simone said, the way Adriana gave us telenovela realness, falling out and wailing, please. She's so dramatic. She's so dramatic. Kimberly said, Johnny used his low center of gravity against Chris like Josh. Yes, that's the thing. You got to be strategic. Chris was not strategic. He went in there all height, and that's why he went home. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Just Jonathan said, Chris probably wishes he was playing ball overseas. Getting his finger broken on Love Island looks extra whack. Hannah said, I was scared them steroids were going to make him lose. No, he was on one. I wonder if he's allowed to have those steroids in the villa. Nonsense Behavior said, Johnny saw the inflation price on them diapers and immediately clocked in. You know what? Thinking of the roids, how many times do you need to inject yourself? Like, if he doesn't need to inject himself for the whole time he's there, he's good. That's what I'm saying. You got to be a man of your word now, Chris. Nas said, I think KK was somewhat more prepared for the mental aspect of this competition than the other girls. Same for Justine and maybe Solene. She knows how to compartmentalize more than the rest of them. Agree. And unless it's the mental challenge or, like you said, a dual challenge with Adriana. I was just like, I think he said that because he didn't think that he was going home. Betty said, Chris and KK don't have chemistry. Not much will happen. They'll milk for what they can, if possible, at best. I don't see them working out. I see, no shade, I see KK being with more of a city Black American guy. Like, Chris gives me burbs. And not like the rich burbs, right? He gives me, working class burbs. I see KK with more of like a city Black American guy. I know, I saw that. I said, oh, they messy. I loved it though. She's so fun. She's so fun. I'm telling you, if she ever gets into acting and she's good, she has a career. Diva said, I'm starting to believe that they were saying that she's trying to act like Amaya. Who? Not Adriana. Devonda said, Nikki, why did they play that song, The Climb? Because they're messy. Nasby said, I think Adriana is also just dramatic. True. And remember that Johnny is also her saving grace. Without him, she would have been sent home. Tyreek would be leading the charge for that. Tyreek is so turned off by her. It is crazy. I don't dislike either one of them as well, but I don't like what Nicola did, so I'm good on her on this show. Guys, I think he liked her, y'all. I think he really, really liked her. She's not leaving that man in his toddler braids. Nonsense Behavior said, I don't think Chris and KK are going to work. Chris is trying to play. Okay. I know he wishes he would have never said that. Listen, they're going to mess around and fall for each other. They're going to mess around and fall for each other. Kimberly said, exactly. Chris and KK were salty being nominated, but they left on a positive note. Please leave them alone. No hate here. Here's the thing. How are they, like, I feel like people are not being realistic. They were told that not only are they competing, if they lose, they leave immediately. No twist. Before, you could probably survive an elimination. Now, like, the stakes are very high, and they just heard the news. They were not even given a moment to process it before Isaiah and Nicola started victimizing themselves. I'm a ride with them every time. I'm a ride with my people every time. Like everybody else do it. AMC said, love you, Nikki. Love you too. Um, I love KK. I'm trying to win that 250. Ah, wow. She's fun. They would be, and they would be unstoppable. Hannah said the producers saw there were too many black people on the show and say we need less diversity. I wish the black people on Love Island games, I wish they would all like come together and make a pact like the cookout. I wish they would do something like that. Devonta said, well, Nikki, the older audience are just as fickle and racist like their children from the corn. True. I will give you that. I'm not giving them a pass, but I just feel like the kids were more out for blood. So we'll see. But also, you got to remember, America is not, their vote is not the final vote. They can put people at risk, but they can't eliminate someone. So that's good. Amaya said, remember when Nicola was cussing out Charlie and Justine for choosing her and Zay for that. Thank you. Thank you. How quickly we forget when we want to victimize ourselves. Arcada said, I'm happy that Johnny, Toby, Tyreek Alliance took and opt out. Kendall is next, boys. Oh, I like it. They're playing the game. Let's go for it. Same thing with Nicola and Isaiah. Nicola's white woman tears aside. The choices they made took the game up a notch for me. Betty said, no, I saw people calling KK Mean Girl during a live stream. It's the new viewers from season 6 and onward, not just the Hitler Youth. Love Island ain't helping with social media posts, pointing KK as the mean girl. Listen, sisters, at this point, that's just who we are. You got to realize you're the baddies of humanity. You always going to have haters. They can't stop the motion, so don't pay them any mind. Oh, okay. That makes sense, child. That makes sense. He absolutely will. If Andre Eden doesn't go home, he's going to try to switch partners. Alexa said, doesn't matter that KK spoke to Nicole at the end. The trolls are out to get KK already, and they have a free day tomorrow to do even more damage. Man, let them. They have no power. They have no power. The only power your enemy has is what you give them. Don't give it to them. Nasby said, I think KK's reaction hit Nicola more than Chris's because Nicola and her likely have a stronger bond than Nicola and Chris. Also, Chris stuck around while KK walked off while Nicola was talking. I don't think that's it. I think Nicola cried because everybody, I don't think it was just KK. Everybody was shocked by that decision. Remember, when Nicola and Isaiah walked out, nobody was featuring them. Nobody. They shifted the game with that. Chris and KK, especially KK, was very well liked. So she shifted the game with that. And Andrea was pretty popular with everybody. So she really, Nicola and Isaiah, they messed up. So I think she was doing that to get people on her side and to victimize herself. But I'm so glad that Justine was just like, why are you crying? Like, please. I'm sorry. For me, she was victimizing herself. And the reason why she was not giving that same energy to Chris is because she wants to bang him. Point blank, period. Josie said, but what would Chris gain from throwing the towel for Johnny? Doesn't make sense. Probably a promise for another show. You know what I mean? You never know. You never know. It could happen. It could happen. But I honestly do think that his finger was broken. Betty said, I think Johnny was going to beat Chris. Johnny was dragging. Yeah. Oh, Johnny was going to win regardless. I don't think Chris's broken finger would have changed the results. If he didn't have a broken finger, I don't think it would have changed the result. So it's best for Chris to leave on a broken finger and not that he got whipped by Johnny. Johnny ain't playing. Now, one thing, that father is providing for his child. Y'all gonna be dragging that man for years to come. Zora said, Nicola playing victim is giving me flashbacks of the 2016 election when we saw how that demographic voted against their own. Stand on your choice, love. Thank you. Amethyst said, Johnny will always win duels. They have to get him out another way and quick, or he will take the dub with any woman athletic enough to survive. Yep. Now, he's the most physically fit there. Like, he did not come to play. And also, Johnny was here before. So he knows what those challenges takes. And if you look at Johnny from last season to now, he's way more buffed. He's way more fit. He trained for this. Josie said, unfortunately, I think the Hitler Youth are still in our midst. I hear so many parents complaining about their kids staying up all night on social media or TV or TV. Homework be damned. Okay. Love Island about to lose me on another show. If the Hitler Youth affect this, I'm out. I'm out. And I don't think they can win me back. Arcada said, no, it was up to America's vote, and they knew Justine and Josh wouldn't go over Mert and Celine. It was smart. Too early to risk a blowback. Yeah, because they decided to also add the friendship factor in there. It's smart. Isaiah and Nicola didn't. And that's the thing that I think will work against them. Now, I said I think both Isaiah and Nicola wanted to empathize how difficult it was for them to decide. So they both were honest about how much they disagreed all night. But they also put 20 on 10. That performance when they came out the villa, I saw them both switch up as soon as they saw people. I don't trust them. Betty said, I think Chris would have tried to go another round, even with the broken finger, and stay for a shot. Absolutely. Absolutely. You're right. So he could have that excuse. I would have beat him had it not been for my finger. Come on. Come on. She absolutely was. Absolutely. A lot of white people are. I hate that it took November 5th for the non-whites to wake up. They do not, that community does not want to become a minority because they know how marginalized communities and minority communities are treated. They don't want that. They have been raised their whole life to think that everybody is the enemy. Everybody non-white is the enemy. I'm not shocked at all. He could be, y'all. He could. Yeah, that's the thing. You pick up a lot from those Black people. That doesn't mean you'll ever empathize with them. That doesn't mean you see them as fully realized human beings. You could just see them as entertainment and, for your sexual gratification. But I do think that he picked up some stuff from the people he was around. Josie said, Nicola knows what she's doing. She can't compete with the other women. So absolutely. It's a smart strategy and it will work. It will work. It's working here. Some people in the chat are like falling for it. It's working. It has worked for centuries. Betty said, Nicola is not being tortured, please. She's been playing the victim ever since it started to sink in that she's not preferred in the villa full of baddies in America. I hate to say it, but it's been proven. She is absolutely following Huda's gameplay. Silk said, seeing how Adriana is, I wish she found love on season 6 because she's so over the top in a good way. Yes. Tish said, imagine how Adriana will act when Johnny trades her in for a bombshell. She'll just cry and probably self-eliminate because she's there for love. And I don't think she can like anybody as much as she likes Johnny. They do, but again, everybody's been talking about Chris's height, 6'8". That's what they always call him. Even Johnny called him a Goliath. He was a threat. I think Chris was the first threat. Jimmy said, Adriana is so confusing to me. Does she not have better options in the outside? I think she does, but you have to realize she's just going through. She's going through the beginning of her Instagram DMs. She'll clock in soon with new talent. Cameron said, at this point, let's all just come to terms that Love Island is losing its steam. I agree. Josie said, Johnny has Adriana wrapped around his finger, and with him trying to rehab his PR, I think he might stick with Adriana to stay on America's good side. I think that's smart. Me too. She was the joy of the house. She really was. Cindy said, Johnny and Adriana make a cute couple, but she sure was doing too much. I was cracking. Yes. Oh, Lord. Hey, Mama Star. Thank you for being here. Cassandra said, did you notice that Johnny has to keep Adriana calm all the time? Each time she's about to go into the dramatics, he talks to her like a therapist. Yeah, she's out of her element. Takara said, I enjoyed Love Island games better than the regular version, less drama, and I love the competition aspect. Absolutely agree. I've always said this is their superior show. Oh yeah, she's had a great attitude the entire show. She really is redeeming herself on this show. Jimmy said, "Oh yeah, last season Ray had a whole." Oh, he did. It made Justine feel so bad for being good at the competition. I hated that. Give Me Shelter said KK is a baddie, but my girl Justine needs to be on a real competition show. Justine and Johnny would eat. I would actually watch Amazing Race if they were cast. I would love, and I think it's too soon. They got to have a couple more seasons, but I would love Love Island Games All Stars with like the baddest competitors they've ever had competing against each other. Yeah, she looks very physically fit. She does. I think she will. She had a great personality. Nasby said, I noticed Ari asked Nicola how she felt after the duel, but didn't ask Isaiah. So intentional for producers. They want a victim versus villain story for the women. They always put the women against each other. They remember the producers always show the boys in a brotherhood. If there's ever a little dust up between the men, they show them making up immediately in the same episode. With the women, they always put women against each other, even when it's not even that big of a deal. It's sad. It is sad. Betty said, Alondria said on a JPW interview that her mom had a depression episode after seeing the hate her daughter was facing on social media. And here goes Love Island producers and social media managers priming another hate train on a Black woman KK. Listen, we've seen that the people have power. Hello, Jimmy Kimmel is back on air. Speak on it. Do what you can. Shut him down. You got the power. Jimmy said Nicole was already getting the pity edit because nobody wanted her. Now this deep side, she's gone. Her and Isaiah put a big target on their back. You seen how everybody came together to make sure that Chris and KK were not a power couple. You think they're not all going to link up against Isaiah and Nicola? Ciao. Oh, he's definitely the alpha now. Them boys ain't playing with him. Yeah, I think he is, Cindy. I think he is. Josie said KK clocked that something wasn't right before Chris even said anything. I think I do too. Arcadis said, because listen, guys, the medic said he can't compete. So something really happened. Arcadis said Tyreek hyping Johnny to take his competition out for him, LMAO. But he was sad KK left. Guys, I think Tyreek really likes KK. I know y'all telling me he gameplay, but I think he really likes her. Nasby said, y'all, Chris jumped over the ropes when he first went in. I was like, oh, he means business. He was trying to intimidate Johnny, but you can't intimidate Johnny. You just can't. It was a good battle. It was a good battle. It was so good. I wish they would have saved it. Cindy said, I deleted my Facebook and TikTok, too much hatred. I need my peace. Oh, yeah. I think my TikTok's going away soon. It's going to go away soon, too, when Oracle takes over. Because it's just, I don't want that administration in anything that I do. Jimmy said Nicolandria was filming for Sweet Greens. Ola was wearing, oh, cute. Cute. Devonda says, stop calling them Nicolandria. They want to be called the Van Carthens. Y'all respect their witches. Much love. Just expressing. Thank you so much. Ayat Simone said, also Sid and Toby sharing kisses in LA. Like the Love Island universe is so, really? What the hell is Toby doing in LA? A Wonderful Life said, it was too cute when KK said, Ty, you shed a tear for me. I wish they could have had a moment, but I get it. I think him being in London made him unserious for her as well. I agree, but you never know. You never know. If Tariq gets eliminated, and like if he gets eliminated shortly after KK's elimination, I think they might start something in the hotel that they're all staying in. Because none of them are going home till the season is over. Nasby said, y'all, I'm wondering how much of Nicola was crying induced by producers. Remember, she's being asked questions by someone being in the cameras. I can see them trying to get her to cry to make KK look bad. I love that you see her as so innocent, Nasby. Good for you. I'm no longer convinced. I know exactly what she's doing. It's dangerous. It's dangerous, and it will work for her. It will work for her. Nicole said, apparently Sydney used to look very different. Red hair and heavier makeup, and the fans bullied her. I wasn't watching the U.S. franchise at the time. It seems like she experienced a lot of bullying. Poor thing. Arcade said, this is the thing. I don't know why they don't cuss the fan base out. I would be cussing them out every day. I would make time out of my day to cuss the fan base out. And if I was Adriana, I would literally just bring up the profile of somebody coming against me. Because who's clocking her? I don't know why they don't fight back. It's so weird. Arcada said, thank you for being one of the few commentators that kept me sane during Love Island season as a Black viewer. Oh, thank you so much. That means a lot to me. Listen, we got to have each other's back. It's a real tough time. We're in Jim Crow America, child. Brown Girl 44 said, I like the friendship between Josh and Chris. Josh was the only one hyping Chris. He was. I think I won't say they're best friends. I don't know why they call themselves best friends, but I do think that they had a friendship. Me too. Immediately. Diva Down said, do you think Isaiah still has feelings for Sydney? I feel like she does. I don't think he has feelings for her. I think he's afraid of her telling his tea. He should be, because she told it. Arcada said they had the most dramatic recoupling with Jess cussing out Johnny. It was epic. I think, yeah, they did. I remember that. Oh, they do a recoupling. My God, today. Now said, I agree. Can I just say I'm so happy we have a safe audience on the show? Me too. At least for now. Hey, Holistic Doc. Thank you for being here. Hey, A, as Simone said on Twitter, it's a mix of sadness that KK and people against her are calling her and Chris bitter, cheering for their downfall, just nasty. Well, it's Twitter. That's a Nazi site at this point. Y'all on there were Nazis, so I'm not surprised. Nasby said, manners matter doesn't even make sense as a dig. KK, because KK said, no, thank you. When Nicola asked if she could talk it out. No, thank you is a very polite reply. And I'm glad that you guys are on their necks about that, because that was wrong. A Wonderful Life said, the way Isaiah was huddled with the guys and Chris was isolated, I think they are fine. Yeah. I think that, listen, Chris and KK left on a good note. Brown Girl 44 said, I like how everyone showed KK so much love because, guys, she was the heart of that villa. Betty said, strategy-wise, you do need friendships and alliances because at some point, Islanders will vote to save people. And if they have a jury vote at the end, like season 1, for who goes to the finals, then friendships will matter. I agree. Devonda said, any Black women that are attacking KK are looking for anything to hate her on, especially calling her a bird and their internalized racism towards dark-skinned Black women. Yep, it always shows up. Arcada said, those bombshells were lame. Bring me Nicole as an ex and Imani. Yo, want Imani to come back so bad. Oh, I want her to come back too because Imani played the game. Ray held her back, though. Alexis Winter said, let's see how Garby navigates with Nicola now. I don't think Nicola is going to clock. I don't think Garby is going to clock Nicola like Justine. Zora said on the challenge, they would often curse out the people who voted them in. Nicola got off easy. Yep. If you don't want to play with the big dogs, don't make a big dog decision. Ice Macchiato said, oh, I quote when Isaiah said you look healthy. I figure Sydney may have went through a eating disorder period because she had more weight on her season. We'll find out soon. Kimberly said, I still want to know if Garby knows about Kendall. Okay. If he did, who cares? And I think for her it wouldn't matter. And it shouldn't. Jimmy said, or Survivor when they voted out when they voted out or don't get chosen for the reward. Yeah, I don't think that Nicola and Isaiah are taking it. I think they messed up their gameplay. I think they made a great decision for the audience. It was good TV. But I think for them, I don't think it's going to work out. I think they're going to be coming back and having to be a jury like everybody else. Josie said, I think the healthy comment was the nicest thing Isaiah could muster up to say to Sydney. What was she looking like before when she was with him? Oh, God, did he drain her soul? So that's why he's just like, you look healthy. Kimberly said, Google Sydney's health past issues with body dysmorphia. Oh, Lord. Yikes, Isaiah. Arcada said, they're not going to win because the OG Islanders will eventually get the sheep out. Hopefully America vote doesn't interfere too much. I don't think it will. Obviously, me said the discourse is messy online, LOL. Adriana cries and gets clowned on, but Nicola cries and she needs to be protected immediately. Like I know who you are every time. Takara said, yeah, Nikki, I'm not on social media like that either. This is my only safe space. Yeah, I don't give them my energy. They're not harvesting me. They're not harvesting my energy. Listen, sinners woke me up. Sinners woke me up. Ice Macchiato said they need Destiny. She gave everyone hell. Oh, who's Destiny? I'm telling you, that's the only way I'll clock back into Love Island. If they got a black woman on there who is just like, I will be the villain. I will clock in for her. Nasby said on Twitter, I mostly see folks defending KK, even people who are sad to see Nicola cry. They are mostly telling Nicola that she needs to understand the show she's on. Oh, good. I would watch it and I would be rooting for her the whole way. The holistic doc said Adriana should have won on a perfect match. I think she would eat there. She's better suited for that. Miss Saxo Beat said, I really had a feeling KK would have made it to the end. Me too. Me too. Kimberly said, Justine is refusing all attempts of being a mammy. She's been there. And yeah, she's seasoned. She really, really is. Me too. And I think Peacock is probably going to put her on something else because she has a bright personality. She's fun to watch. I think they'll bring her back. That's the thing. I can't believe how old he is. He's so childish. Josh, they're a year apart. He keeps on calling him a kid. Nyla said, poor sportsmanship is the word. I'm like, you was playing professional ball throwing tantrums in Tanzania. Audrey, what's up? Audrey said, Nicole is too funny when Isaiah asked for a hug, but don't know if it was a good tactic to pick friends. But the argument that it would be more of a fair fight to save Adriana. Listen, Nicola, she got to realize this is the decision she made and stand in it. Because it's going to backfire. And that's the game. DC Catastrophe Waitress, yes, said 40% of the internet commenters are bots. Let's support KK, but not argue with the wall. Yeah, don't give me your energy. Just block. You know what I do? If this will help you, it helps me. Maybe it'll help you. I write my comment. I write the comment that I'm going to write just to get it out of me. Then I delete it and block the person. Takara said, I agree. Going home because of the heart rate challenge would piss me off. Even Chris and KK said that. They were just like, a heart rate challenge got us vulnerable. I think they need to remove that next season. Irene said, I don't think it was fair the way Chris left because of an injury. They should replace it with a vote or a non-physical comp. I get that, but if they say he can't compete and it's a daily show, like his broken finger isn't going to heal anytime soon. Obviously, me said heart rate challenge needs to go by averages and not highest heart rate, in my opinion. I think so too. Nasby said it's the fact that this show is going to end next week. All this drama and the theatrics about people leaving as if y'all won't see him again in about 10 days. Yeah, it's too much. It's too much. Audrey said Justine is right. Last season, that night getting a power couple is better. It's better to be safe. Ciao. Rosh said, although Johnny is a slimy snake, I'd rather have him than Chris, and I'm scraping the barrel here. Nasby said, I'm also peeping that they had these people prep for the duel before breakfast. I hope they made them get some food in their system and time to digest before they started this challenge. That's another thing. Chris was like, he's not eating. I don't think that was smart. Thank you. Wake it up. Not just behavior said off subject, but what topics are we talking about for the Just Chatting show? We're going to talk about Dame Dash. We're going to talk about Jimmy Kimmel. We're going to talk about Cardi. We're going to talk about is marriage a scam? And I think one more topic. One more topic. But yeah, and you guys can bring your topics as well. Let me know what y'all want to talk about as well. I think I'm going to give each topic like 10 minutes and then let people come up and, it's going to be a chatting. So it's not going to, I don't think I want to do timestamps because I think it's just going to be a chatting back and forth with everyone. BY said Love Island Games is on for 3 weeks only. So I think that the coming days will be competitive. Well, now it is. Hey, B Nickel, thank you for being here. Rosh said, I don't understand why everyone is shocked by their choice. It's games. I would have picked the exact same. Toby and Adriana are weaker competitors. So it makes sense to keep them in. Yep. It's a game. And they let us know what it was. Good for them. The Holistic Doc said Johnny been in that gym preparing for the show. Yeah, he's been preparing. I think Johnny knew he was coming back. Devonda said, did y'all see Justine training video? She said, yeah, they knew. Ice Macchiato said, oh yeah, the dangly earrings that men were wearing. I'm so glad that passed. I hated it. But there are some men holding on to it. You see that Isaiah has 2 cubic zirconians in his ear. Like it's 2008. He's not letting that go. Holistic Doc said, Adriana is not built for competition shows. She needs to be on The Perfect Match or Love is Blind. Yep. Or at Miami Beach Week. Rosh said, Nicola is a real one, playing mentally, especially with the fans, and it's working. I do like her, but come on. We see how she is when it comes to challenges, and she's the most vocal one, and now she's crying. Smart. I'm telling you. Listen, her game is working so well, it's working on the Star family. And it's a tale as old as time. It's the oldest trick in the book, and it works. Ice Macchiato says 6'8" is tall. I dated a basketball player who was 6'9", and his height was the only thing people saw. Yeah, and that intimidated people. So I don't know how Chris was shocked that he was picked. Betty said Isaiah being a clown supporter ain't surprising since from Florida. I think Josh is too, so I can't get on board with Justine and Josh. Even a fling, making out, and building intimacy with someone who voted your rights away. Understandable. Understandable. They will. I want to see the both of them on more competition shows. I like them. LaDonna said Justine was on a... Oh, my God. Well, Johnny wouldn't do well on the Traders. Justine would eat, though. LaDonna said Justine was on a real game show. She was on the Challenge Vets with New Threats. I want something better for her. I want something a bit more elevated. I would love to see her on Traders. Betty said they need Love Island Games All-Stars. Can't wait until we have enough seasons. Yep, I agree. Nonsense Behavior said I would like to see KK on Traders. She would be good. Raj said, listen, if Chris wasn't in the duel and KK still went, I don't think he would even care like that. Remember, he was there for the moolah. True. Audrey said, hate that people are now saying KK is a nice and a mean girl. I'm glad that they didn't let them victimize themselves, but sad that KK competitive speech in games cops isn't well reserved. They would have called her a mean girl just because her skin is dark. That's how easy it is. So let's not even focus on that. We knew that this was going to happen. She's black. Tell us all this time. Tell us all this time. The biracial squad. You know what? I feel like the biracials are forming, or the multiracials are forming their own cookout. And I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Absolutely. It's a Maya and Huda. It's a Maya and Huda, baby. Betty said they said it on the episode. Sid said she met Toby at the season 1 games watch party and they kissed. Toby mentioned, oh, he did. Thank you for that. Yo, you kissed the man when you... Let me not judge. Miss Lou said Adriana fights back in her comments, but it might get exhausting. I can see that happening. I've been there. Kenya Marie said, I think Nicola was overwhelmed that everyone was giving her the cold shoulder, and it came out after KK. And the issue is that everyone was acting like they wouldn't do the same. Now, I'll give you that. I'm just like being mad at Nicola and Isaiah for going after the strongest people in the game doesn't make sense because that's gameplay. But friendship is also a part of this game as well. So it may not work in their favor. I absolutely get Nicola being overwhelmed, but I've been here long enough to know. I know that tactic. I've been a victim of that tactic. I've seen others be victim of that tactic. We've seen others lose their life because of that tactic. She knows what she's doing, guys. She is not innocent. Please stay woke. They might be locked in for real, y'all. Audrey said, like they Jays need an excuse to hate likable KK. Women can be competitive in challenges too. Josh was giving grace to those two. Damn, rest in peace to sis brows. I think the red eats on her. But, she's probably a girl that changes her hair color. Good for her. Oh, she's very green. Very, very, very green. Give me shout out. The NWACP will have to purchase Twitter in order for me to go back. I don't even have Meta accounts. Oh, yeah. I'm about to get rid of TikTok, and Instagram is about to be it for me. So This may be the only place you could find me. Miss Lou said Destiny was on KK's season and had a new man every 2 episodes. Oh, I like her. Oh, I hope she comes on, guys. Amathai said Destiny was a biochemical engineer from season 5, super assertive. I don't know if she is physically strong, but could have brought some drama. I like her already. I don't know anything about her. Lemon Girl said, really need to watch Sinners. Keep forgetting, and I love me a good. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. Sudo said Destiny was on season 5. She's one of KK's closest friends. She was unapologetically herself. I was going to war for. Oh, good. Good. Yeah, like KK's post, we did it for Alandria. Let's do it for her. Miss Lou said, speaking of which, I'm so glad Destiny was able to make it to the final. The haters were gunning for her. Oh my God. I like that. I like Destiny. I hope she comes. E for Empathy said, instead of the heart rate challenge leading to an immediate elimination, it should have offered an advantage. Thank you. I would respect it a bit more if it did something like that. Please bring it up. Please bring it up and we'll talk about it. Not too much because that's really tragic and I want to keep it light. But I think it's a conversation we should have. Shay said, the people wanting to humble Andreina reminds me of people wanting to humble Alandria and Shelly. Well, everybody wants to humble, all the uglies want to humble a baddie. You want to humble somebody you can never be. It happens all the time. Betty said, Toby also been in the gym. He does. He looks more fit and he's thicker. And it's this time around than season 1. He got washed last season because Caleb and Liberty far outweighed him in Georgia. And it was a tug of war. Yeah. So he does look like he looks a lot better. Still looks like Beavis and Butthead, but he looks a lot better. She would eat, and I would really love to see her on Traders. Raj said, I don't like how Kendall is coasting through. It's pissing me off. He might coast through a win, guys. Devonta said, she reminded me of 404 Hoodlum and Amaya. My God, today the manipulation jumped. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. But it works. They will always resort to that because it works every time. Betty said, regarding Cardi for just chatting, TikTok saying her new baby daddy got 3 babies coming at the same time, and he's allegedly DL. Well, welcome to dating in America. Hello. But this is the thing. Everybody's making a big deal about it. I'm like, those people are rich. And I think the baby daddy is probably wealthy. They don't have the same problems. They do not have the same problems. Raj said, remember, Nicola is like 22, 23. I think she needs to be more clued up. Yeah, she's very young. Well, I will absolutely give her that. But so was the Hitler Youth. You had 12-year-olds on here weaponizing whiteness. They start very young. Very, very young. Lemon the Girl said, even if Nicola is doing it unintentionally, that's still a problem. Yes, because it's probably what she's used to. That's another thing. It's probably ingrained in her culturally. That's very scary. Oh, stunning. And those wigs are holding up. She better get a hair sponsorship. The Whitney edit said, I'm so late to the live, but I'm not buying what Nicola's saying. We see each other. LaDonda said, who was actually giving Nicola the cold shoulder, though? Everybody sat there and let her talk except KK, and she was trying to get ready to compete. I think that everybody was just like, girl, you made a big decision. Sit in it. And I think because she was not being coddled, she did that crying. You're not a baby. You're a grown woman. You've been trying to get to hop on Chris the moment you got here. You are not no kid. Devonta said, why y'all in the chat acting obtuse about what Nicola is doing? I need y'all to stop letting your biases get in the way, for the people accountable, not enabling weaponized tears against you. So wake up. Devonta, I agree, but let's be a little softer. We all have had our wake-up call. And some people are, we have a diverse audience in here, age-wise as well. So some people are a little younger and it's going to take them, a minute. They got to be on the end of that. I think also some of them have not yet worked in corporate America. So, let's give everybody grace. The only people we don't give grace is Nicola's. Give Me Shelter said, I like Blue Sky. It's a bit quiet because you can literally filter out I didn't know. I forgot about Blue Sky. I think I still have a login. There's going to be a new social media app that's going to, take over. I'm trying to see what it's going to be, but it's coming. Miss Lou said it just doesn't serve Black women to give women like Nicola, Amaya, and Huda any sympathy. It doesn't. I know Black women, you want to be like, above it and, be the super mammy and just loving it. It doesn't. It doesn't. I'm telling you, for Black people, it will benefit you to think that everybody is against you until they prove that they are not. It's the best way. It sucks, but it's the best way for you to survive. You can't give them the benefit of the doubt when they don't even give you humanity. Kenya said, didn't Nicola say she did it because she thought it would be a fairer fight? I think so, but remember, Nicola changed up her excuse several times. Ross said, Chris probably thought, as I've been chatting with Nicola, I'm not going to be in the duel. On the reverse came in full force. Sure did. Lavender Girl said, absolutely. We'll see how she moves next and if she learns. True. Nonsense Behavior said, and Cardi is so deeply Catholic, so that explains everything about her. She's also a Latina from New York City. I told you about my Latina friends from New York City. We were young, and they were locked into being wives and moms. The hell with education. I was like, what is going on here? Scared me. Audrey L said, Destiny from season 5, right? Nikki hasn't watched. I haven't watched it. But what you're telling me about Destiny, I'm a fan. Nasby said, if we're going to talk about Cardi, I love to hear Nikki's thoughts on what podcaster. You know what? Thank you so much for saying that. I don't know what she said, but I've seen people talking about it. I'm going to listen to the read when I get off of here so I can, give my full scope of things. But I also want to just say this real quickly, and we'll save it for the chat tomorrow. Rich people do this often. There are a lot of wealthy men who are baby daddies to kids all over the globe. Nobody bats an eye. I feel like the only rich guy that you guys have ever come after was Nick Cannon, and that's because he made it everybody's business. Ice Macchiato said, yeah, apparently Stefan he's wealthy, guys. I would probably get pregnant by him too if I was a Cardi. Listen, at least I know that there's gonna be something out of that, but no, I'm kidding. But it's just like, it's not, she didn't get impregnated by no unemployed dude. She got pregnant by a real wealthy young man. Ice Macchiato said, facts, Nikki, everybody's against you until there's proof they're not. You have to. It's so sad. I hate to say it. I was somebody who was just like, no, my grandmother told me all of this. And I was just like, no, the world is different. It's changing. She was right. It's sad, but that's how you have to move in this world. Nonsense Behavior said, Blue Sky suspended my account after I said good riddance in regards. Oops. Audrey said, Love Island Discourse needs you, Nikki, more than you know. You're so profound and intellectual. Thank you. I can't even emphasize how much people could take a PhD and still not. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Audrey. You're so sweet. Betty said, Destiny from season 5 was a self-respecting queen. She will clock somebody politely enough, especially a man. Love her already. Give me a chance to say Elon Musk got it from his dad. He has so many kids. Musk's dad is in trouble right now. By the way, it's real bad. Well, listen, the chickens are coming home to roost. I try not to get spiritual on here, but if you look at this from a spiritual level, the ancestors are at work. Nasby said Crystal was comparing Cardi to Nick Cannon, and it was strange because Cardi's boyfriend is right there. Cardi is present in all her kids' lives. Like, come on now. Okay, well, I'll check it out, and I'll have a response tomorrow. BY said Prince Albert of Monaco is a baby dad. Yeah, and because that kid is black. Because that kid is black, he said he's always going to provide for him, but he will never be given the title of prince.
Well, he's halfway something because they done put him out in the ghetto. But he can't talk.
Nasby said, and after you listen to the read, see if you can get Cardi's responses because she did comment on spaces and she actually kept it cute. I think that would be easy to find. Yeah, go ahead. I think that would be easy to find. Oh my God, Toya! I'm joking. I'm joking.
Claiming him and the British ain't claiming him.
Child, the president is a deadbeat. LaDonna said Cardi has 3 of her kids by one man that she was married to. No comparison. We'll bring it to the chat. And remember, the chat is going to be at I'm going to make it 7:30. If I get done what I'm doing earlier, I'll hop on earlier.
Yeah, I want to hop on that.
Yeah, you can hop on. Everybody, I'm going to share it in the chat, and hopefully one of you can pin it. But it's going to be at this point at 7:30 PST. If I can make it earlier, I will. But for now, I'll make it at 7:30. But if I can hop on earlier, I will do that. Hannah said you can have money, but if you're too busy chasing after a man, you hurt your kid. Oh, absolutely. I always say that poor and working class kids are better off than them rich ones. I would not want to be a rich kid. I was fine being, a comfortable working class kid. I didn't know we was poor till I got older. I did not know we did not have it. Because my mom was bougie, so I was like, oh, we struggling? I didn't know.
Nikki also was super spoiled and had every single thing she ever asked for.
Every toy,
every single toy.
Okay, and that just proves that I didn't know we were poor. Because I didn't really go without. Nas B said, oh, when I say Cardi's boyfriend is right there, I mean right there for comparison to Nick Cannon. That made more sense than implying Cardi is doing the same as Nick. Well, society is just harder on women. Women are harder on women. It's sad. It's sad. Yeah, Mama Star and Toya will join. So don't worry about that.
Trusting me again.
Betty said, for just chatting, speaking on the ancestors of spirituality, TikTok saying that the funeral was energy harvesting, especially given the day. Pick the moon script. I don't know much about that, but bring it up. Yeah, bring it up tomorrow. I will say, I've always said that. I think that Black people are extremely spiritual and carry a lot of energy that people harvest for their success. I say it about us all the time, and I'm not shocked by that. Yeah, it will be fun. It will be fun. I'm going to get 2 more. Let's get out of here. Because we are way over our 2-hour mark, child. They get mad at me for that. Betty said, hope our ancestors can beat whatever energetic boost those people got from that. Well, it can, but we have to clock into it. BY said, Cardi responds very demure. She was right on point. She's growing up, guys. She's in her 30s now. Cardi, 24-year-old Cardi would have responded differently. Zora says, Stephon Diggs.
I would just delete my account.
Just chatting is at 7:30 PST on tomorrow. Sorry to my UK Star family member and my international Star family members. I just have something before that on tomorrow. I'll do my best to make the just chattings earlier, but work is work, child. Work is work. Anyway, Star family, thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Love Island Games. This was a fun one. Please make sure you like the video, and when this video has wrapped, please make sure you hype it up. It helps your girl grow on the YouTube algorithm. Thank you for supporting this Black woman-owned business, and I will see you tomorrow for Just Chatting. Love you all. Good night. I came here for love.